This is a little personal here for me, so I'm going to be a little selfish. For me to truly enjoy this the way that I need to, I've got to have a cathartic moment. I've got to. And I've got to be accountable because I'm carrying around some Nick guilt, man, and it's heavy. I focused on the wrong thing with this team. I focused on the wrong thing, and I wasn't alone. Like, you guys could hide, oh, yeah, I thought the Knicks would. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Nobody really did because they didn't really provide the evidence from a basketball perspective that this team could mess around and win this series and maybe win a championship. What I just glossed over, what I understated, what I overlooked was the thing that I've always loved about the Knicks, heart. Like, if you go back to your early, we're pretty much similar ages here. Obviously, I saw Bernard, you didn't, but that's it. Like, the Knicks were always rooted in heart. So not only are they winning these games, dude, but they're winning them with a characteristic that I didn't think that they possessed. And, yeah, I mean, they save it for the end, that you keep doing this, you're going to get burned. But, whether it's an L chain from the afternoon show, I got no problem hanging that around my neck for a little bit. I completely looked at this team and said, they don't have the soul. They don't have the heart to do this. Now, I was wrong.
Well, to me, they're winning with talent. I don't think it's about. I never doubted.
When you're down by 20 points, I think it's both.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
I'm saying they're shooting 41% every game. They get out rebounded every game. They're shooting 25% from three. They're not even playing well.
Also, these two games cannot be the norm. It's just not sustainable. So we're reacting to something that is completely abnormal. I mean, forget what you thought about the Knicks or what I thought about the Knicks or anybody else. Did anybody in the world think Jayson Tatum would play the way he has in the first two games?
No, it's been staggeringly bad.
So he was clearly the best player coming into the series, and he has clearly been the worst player in this series, expectation versus result. So that, to me, is the biggest factor here. The Celtics shooting the ball the way that they have twice in the Celtics go up 20 points in these games on a way to a rout of the Knicks, and yet the Knicks come back and win both those games. So there are different things to dissect from that. You and I had fundamental disagreements about this team because you wanted to judge them on the regular season and said that they didn't have heart or toughness that the team with DiVincenzo and Hartenstein had. Mm-hmm. For me, I wanted to reserve judgment because they were never fully healthy. You saw the difference last night Mitchell Robinson did what Mitchell Robinson did against the Sixers a year ago. Yeah. That was the Mitchell Robinson that I preferred to have over Hartenstein. It was nice to see him show up to a point where the foul trouble wasn't, or him getting fouled wasn't even a big issue. It was all the other things that he brought to the table. But I needed to see this team, A, fully healthy, and B, what they could do in the postseason. Some of their heart, BT, that it wasn't all DiVincenzo and Hartenstein. Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, these are guys that you were criticizing in the first round that still played with a toughness and heart. Towns, the idea of him being soft, we needed to see him. I don't think he's soft. I don't think he's a great player. Mm-hmm. I think he's a very highly skilled big man as far as the shot goes, but as far as his moves in the low post, there's still question marks about this team. So I think it's fair to question things about the Knicks. I didn't understand the questions about the toughness or the heart throughout the course of a meaningless regular season.
But it's not meaning. Listen, I've always said, to me, now it depends on the year, depends on the team, depends on the situation, obviously, but it's usually, I look at 7 to 10 games each year. Whether it was the Warriors when they were trying to crack through, or LeBron trying to crack through, or our Knicks trying to crack through. I think there's basically 7 to 10 measuring stick barometer type games that you need to watch. Right. I get it. Not everybody's watching every second of all 82. You're not going to watch the Hornets game, or you're not going to stay up late to watch them against a bad West Coast team. Well, life gets in the way. But there are certain games you got to watch. And the games that I thought, and we all thought, that was going to really define them based on who they might play at this point of the season, which is really what's going to shape who they are and how they're defined, they didn't beat them once.
Right.
So, but the focus for me there, and listen, it was partly attributable to matchup stuff, and these teams are a little bit better, whatever. But I don't know that I've ever seen a team play so sporadically good. In a lot of ways, they've been bad. Shot 42% the first game. They missed 17 out of 31 free throws. They were minus 10 rebound. That's not a good game.
Still haven't played a good game. Up 2-0, still haven't played a good game.
I know. Last night's out. They shoot 43%. They're 29% on threes. They get out rebounded again. They're down by 20-plus points. They're down by whatever it was, 16, 14, with 8 minutes to go, and then they don't score a field goal. We could try to define this. We really could.
Right.
We could try to define this. But at the end of the day, we can't. Because I don't know, whether it's Eli's improbable runs with the Giants or some other wacky situations. Usually when a New York team is crowned a champion, and we're still many steps from that, the 86 Mets, dominant. Most of the Yankee teams, dominant. The Isles of the dominant dynasty. The Rangers were awesome in 94, talent from A to Z. We don't get this script. This is the most, maybe the 69 Mets. This is the most improbable run to where we are from where I thought they'd be. And I just didn't think they could do it. I'm not going to lie to you.
Big picture.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, but they haven't done anything yet.
Oh, they're going to win the series. They're going to win the series.
See, this is where, though, I have a tough time because it's like I'd rather not do big picture and just focus on the actual series. It's round 2.
I'm not talking about the finals. I'm saying this series.
I understand it. It's round 2. They still have not played a great game. Like, my whole thought process throughout the whole season was I'm not putting a ceiling on this team or a cap on this team's ceiling because of the talent. That is why I'd make that trade every single time, the Bridges trade and the Towns trade. It's not about, well, Bridges made a great defensive play. And by the way, can Bridges actually hit a shot in the first 3 quarters? Like, would that kill him?
Could he take a shot? He actually did. He was like 0 for 9, I think, at one point. 1 for 9.
The other day, he's 3 for 13. Yesterday, he's 0 for whatever it was, the exact numbers. Didn't hit a shot didn't score a point.
Can't keep winning like that.
Okay, so that's my point, that you want to explain how the Knicks won the first 2 games? To me, it's because the Celtics haven't made a shot. You've seen the formula. You've seen the recipe. Celtics get up huge. They continue to chuck threes, even open threes, and they're off. Psychologically, I think the Knicks have the Celtics beat right now. Yep. Psychologically, that's where I trust the Knicks. If those shots start to fall, if the Celtics get off the mat and win game 3, you obviously don't want to go, from the Celtics perspective, if they go down 0-3, you would think that it's over. But if they win game 3, all of a sudden everything flips, and it's just about look, they come down, miss a 3, one and out. Knicks grab the rebound, come back down. Mikal Bridges all of a sudden catches fire. That's how they get back in the game. And then a tight game, the Knicks got the Celtics on the ropes. Like, they're toast in those situations. The Knicks close much better than the Celtics have. So those are the reasons for the first 2 games. But why does it have to be now a complete flip to say, well, they're going to win this series, or now there is no ceiling? There shouldn't have been a ceiling to begin with because of the talent that they have.
But again, that's just a fundamental disagreement. I've got to react to what I see.
Right.
I've got to react to what I see. And, eventually we got to get past the point of 0-10 against the... I know.
That's over.
It's over, yeah. But that's what shaped all of my opinions. And I'm okay with that. Like, I watch every Knick game. I'm fine with this. I'm fine with saying, wow, they're more than I thought. Wow, they are different than I thought. But
I guess that's what I'm curious. What is different?
Their toughness. The Pistons, I didn't think they had this layer of toughness.
But they still haven't played a good game against Ball.
But they played tough. They played tough against the Pistons, who wanted to make it into a street fight. And I didn't think that individually, outside of like Hart and 1 or 2 other guys, I didn't think individually they were ready for that smoke. And a few guys proved me wrong. And then I'm like, okay, can that transfer from individuals getting ready to get down and get dirty to can this now transform them into a connected team? And that's the one thing that I said yesterday, both days after they won the first game.
Right.
Like, no, I'm not going to necessarily say that they're going to win the series. I'll say that now that I believe that they will, and hopefully they do. But after 1 game, I'm like, let me see. After 2, you just hit on something I think is very important. They're snatching their soul.
Right.
Like the New York Knicks, they looked tough and they looked poised. And the Celtics, the defending champions, looked soft and hesitant. And I don't think that's going to change the series.
I think doubt is now in the mind.
Yeah.
You saw it when they're shooting the basketball last night.
There's no question.
At home, doubting themselves. And you have to give the Knicks credit for playing some defense, but it wasn't like they were locked down on every 3. There was some contested. And the Knicks closing, whether it's offensive plays or design, whatever you want to call it, closing offensively and then closing defensively, that has been the highest of levels. That is something that the Knicks have the Celtics clearly beat at. Mm-hmm. But psychologically, if Boston is reeling and where the Knicks now start to get confidence, beating them for the first time in game 1, now doing the same exact thing in game 2 on their home floor, I would think psychologically there's a clear advantage. But I still have The Celtics are going to be the toughest out here. We haven't seen it in the first two games. It's not a given that the Knicks are going to win game 3. And maybe they do win game. Maybe they sweep. I mean, anything's possible when you're up 2-0. Who knows? But to me, it's still a series. The Knicks have won 2. They have to win 2 more, and they're not going to be able to do it the way that they've won the first 2, as far as I'm concerned.
No, things have to change. You just can't have these wild fluctuations in performance. It's not a script to win anything big. I totally agree. You're falling behind by 20.
They were down 16 in the fourth.
It really is among the most amazing things I've ever seen. Like, I know we have to describe it, but it's almost impossible to describe what they put us through. It is absolutely amazing, but to your point, no, you can't keep winning like this. Now, there was a sequence, and I'll tell you, there's a little thing, but you know what really bothered me? One play bothered me last night, and I guarantee if I gave you 5 players as to which one it was, you wouldn't identify it. It was campaign. There is a point during, multiple points, but the one stretch where Karl Anthony Towns in the second quarter was going absolutely bonkers. Honestly, I thought I was watching Patrick Ewing, like getting to the rim, just deliberate and ones. He was nasty. He was feeling it. And campaign jacks up a 30-footer. Like, and he bricked it. Like, that's the little things that could keep you from winning a championship. You got to feed the hot hand. You can't have guys disappear, for chunks like Bridges, like OG. They are very imperfect, but what's not contestable is their heart. I just didn't think they had what they have.
Well, and what's a fact is that they're up 2 games to none, and they are 2 wins away from the Eastern Conference Finals. However, it has to happen. Now it has to happen, because now it would be a colossal disappointment if somehow, even though it's similar odds as far as who's favored to win the series now, even though we know Boston, how talented they are, they're the reigning champ, up 2 games to none coming back home. Now it would be a major upset or disaster if the Knicks somehow lost this series. BT Sal on the Fan. Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Ralph is in Franklin Square. What's up, Ralph?
Hey, yeah, so guys, I need your help a little bit. I'm a huge Knicks fan. I'm so psyched by this. But I need your guys' emotional support with my New York pessimism. Like, as soon as we won last night, I thought of the last time we were up 2-0 against the defending champs, and that's the Eastern Conference Finals against the Bulls in 93. Like, I know
and this ain't the Bulls.
Don't have an end.
Tatum ain't Jordan, I can promise you.
Also,
and
the Knicks
that's my point. Like, my question is, like, what do you think of the talent gap between the Knicks and the Celtics compared to the Knicks versus the Bulls back then? Like, do we even have a talent gap?
Listen, Ralphie, here's what I think. I'm not trying to be. I don't care. That was 30 years ago. Here's what I know. And here's what I said this yesterday. Like, I'll talk about the talent gap with these 2 teams now, not in the early 90s. Like, without Hauser. Right. Without Hauser, who plays 21 minutes a game, shoots 42% from 3, and takes 6 a night, that changes how they play. Without a bouncy and effective, on both sides, Kristaps Porzingis, that changes who they are. Now, last night was really and Reggie said it, that Jaylen Brown looked bouncy. Now, he also became invisible after a really, really nice run. I think coming into the series, I think that the Celtics had much more depth. Knicks didn't get much at all from from Deuce. I think Deuce had the 1-3.
He gave quality a few, 17 minutes he played.
But I think he had the 1-3, and obviously Mitch was plus 13 or plus 14. Mitchell Robinson, oh my God. So I think top to bottom, when both teams are fully healthy, I think you could probably say maybe the Knicks have more well-rounded players and maybe the Celtics have a deeper bench, whatever. But I don't think it really matters, because I think Jayson Tatum right now is a fractured superstar. Like, his brain is bent. And I think that the Celtics are banged up. So the disparity in talent that once was a big Boston advantage, I don't see it now.
Well, here's the thing. It was hypothetical dating back to last year about the Knicks and the Celtics, where the Knicks were, they can't stack up against the Celtics. That's why I was excited to have this matchup finally once and for all. Let's see it. And so far, the gap is not as far as we thought maybe it was going to be, or as far as many people thought it was going to be. Now, with that being said, you mentioned Hauser. Porzingis, even though he played last night, he didn't really play. Like, Porzingis is not himself. He's not clearly not 100%. What did he play? 14 minutes?
13, 14 minutes.
Yeah, okay, so
7, 8 points.
14
no,
minutes
he's diminished.
So he's not fully healthy. I think the Celtics have a better team, but I think the Knicks have enough talent. That's why you make those trades. You get the talent. Mikal Bridges' talent, both defensively and offensively, offensively, has been a difference maker even in just one quarter in these games or an overtime period where he turns it on and he can light it up and come down and get on fire and knock down shot after shot after shot, and then go be a lockdown defender. That's why you make that move. Karl Anthony Towns, same thing. It doesn't have to be one guy every single night. It doesn't have to be Brunson. Imagine last year's team with Brunson having to score 40 a night for the Knicks to be successful. He hasn't done that. Brunson hasn't even been great in this series. He's been key at certain times, but he hasn't even been great. So I don't think we've seen the best of the Knicks, and they're still up 2-0. The thing is, we certainly haven't seen anywhere near the best of the Celtics either.
No, we haven't. But I'll tell you what, the recipe, and again, they don't want to do this. This is just what happens, and they've got to find a way around this. Otherwise, they're not going to win a championship or keep moving on here. But if you fall behind by 20 at the Garden, it's a different energy. Now, not that it hasn't happened at all this year, but when you're getting your face kicked in front of 19,000 of your own, every time you miss a shot, you get those groans, you get those collective sighs, you get the frustration. You can feel that. You don't feel that on the road. You're almost able to just kind of play through it because you don't have, again, almost 20,000 people dissatisfied with what you're doing in front of you because it's on the road.
And the Knicks have not been good at home. Because
they've been 27-14 during the regular season. They won 4 straight playoff games.
And even game one against Detroit, they got down big again.
Gotta have one, yeah.
And this is the thing, we can say, well, it's not sustainable. Well, they've done it now 3 times, but they got down big game 1, lost game 2.
That was the campaign game.
Yeah, it lost game 2 and lost game 5.
I know.
There's no automatics here. To me, I think if they are going to beat the Celtics, and I'm still not, as I said yesterday, until the final nail is in the Celtics' coffin, I'm not going to believe it actually happened. Can win? Absolutely. Felt that way coming. Yeah, they have a chance, have a shot. Up 2-0, certainly you feel good about it. I need to see them play a good game from start to finish and beat this team at home. Now, you go up 3-0, that to me is a different story, but I think it's going to – look, we need to see the Knicks go out there and actually play a good game start to finish, specifically at home.
It's been fun. I know you cannot do this in basketball. You can do this in boxing where you come out – in a 15-round fight, and you just dance around the ring, and you let the other guy who's bigger and stronger maybe tire himself out, and then, final couple of rounds, you start, hitting the body, the jab, dance, and before you know it, the guy's on the canvas looking up. But it almost seems, and I know that they're not, it almost seems like that's the Knicks' philosophy. Let them throw their punches early. We're in better shape.
Right.
We have a slow heartbeat during the clutch moments here. And once we get to round 13, 14, 15, we'll find a way to get you on the mat. It's absolutely insane.
Well, they're built like that, and that's because of Tibbs and the way that they've been playing for 4 years, whatever it's been, under Tom Thibodeau. I know there's been different variations of this group, and this is the most talented of this group, but the fact that they play all the minutes that they do in the regular season, they're built for this. Does it mean they're going to win the championship? No. I mean, I still don't think so. I need to see it to believe it. I wanted to see this team fully healthy, which we never saw in the regular season. And I wanted to see them compete in the postseason when everything's ratcheted up. So far, so good. Even with some doubts along the way. Game 1 against the Detroit, losing game 2, home game 5, game 5 at home for the closeout. That really bothered me. Game 6 showed you something. And now obviously games 1 and games 2, even though they haven't been great, to beat the Celtics twice without their A game, that's something I don't think anybody thought would be the case.
Well, I know we got a break here, but I'm, as much as I think I understated and underrated the Knicks, I think a lot of people now, I'm not so sure that people didn't overstate what the Celtics are.
They were the champs. And
I understand. I know. I respect them, and they're not out until they are out.
Right.
I get it. They are the champs. They have earned that.
I mean, the series is far from over.
I'm not saying that. I'm not even looking to debate that now because I don't think that you're necessarily wrong. I got you. But do the Celtics look like a team whose heart right now reflects that of a champion? They're cracking in front of our eyes, dude. They're melting when it matters.
Remember, too, there is a hunger factor. That's why I talk about psychologically. Celtics are the champs. They already won it. The Knicks are hungry for that. And you could see sometimes the difference, especially down the stretch. All right, BT Sal on the fan, just getting started here. I know we got to get plenty of calls in here. Talk some Knicks all day long after that huge win in Game 2 last night, 888-808-1019. Other series going around in the NBA as well, BT. You got Steph Curry banged up with the Warriors, even though they beat the T-Wolves the other night. And they have a 1-0 lead over Minnesota. Steph Curry has been out, and you wonder what's going to go on with him with the hamstring.
He's missing a couple for sure. Probably 2. He might miss more than that. That's a pretty high grade strain for the hammy.